Meghan Markle, she's your favourite. We have to talk about her 45th birthday. It went publicly unacknowledged by the royal family on Tuesday.
But it grabbed on a phone. This was staged, composed, and posted with intention. Fine, celebrities do that all the time.
There have been speculating on that Meghan Markle has lied about her age. Is she actually older?
Celebrities like Pamela Anderson, Gwyneth Paltrow, Meghan Markle seems to lack one very key thing in the public's eye, and that is a defined identity. From her fashion to her personality to her interests, everything about Meghan seems to be a copy of somebody else because she lacks an inherent identity on her own.
And Link, it's just such bad news because all of a sudden, this birthday, this 45th birthday, has turned into an absolute disaster.
One birthday photo, one black and white jump into a pool, and suddenly an old question Meghan Markle has never silenced came roaring back. Is she really 45? Or has the public been staring at a timeline that never quite adds up? Because this controversy is not built on one anonymous post. The source points to a March 1997 magazine, old television footage, employment claims, university classmates, an acting profile, a private 2018 email, comments attributed to Thomas Markle, and years of accusations from Samantha Markle. The birthday image did not end the rumors. It detonated them. Picture a milestone birthday displayed as proof of a life overflowing with love, cake, noise, children, family, friends, a partner somewhere in frame. Now look at what Meghan posted this week. One woman, a rope swing, a pool, balloons, Harry is absent, Archie is absent, Lilibet is absent, Doria, Meghan's mother, is absent. No friends appear mid-laugh. Instead, there is Meghan, a professional photographer, a black and white treatment, and a moment critics immediately read as produced rather than spontaneous. Then viewers examined the details like clues. Meghan jumps wearing sunglasses, which critics seized on as evidence that the photograph mattered more than the swim. Then came the pool. Royal watchers argued it did not appear to match the in-ground pool at the couple's Montecito property and looked more like an above-ground pool. The source cites no explanation from her team, so even the location became another unanswered question. Previous years, the source says, had group shots and a visible family atmosphere, with Harry somewhere in frame. This year, that warmth was replaced by Meghan alone beneath balloons on an Instagram account with comments turned off. To critics, the professional photographer, filter, isolation, and disabled comments created a vacuum, and every unresolved Sussex question rushed into it. But the image was only the opening act. The question exploding online was how old Meghan Markle really is. The official figure in the source is 45. The rival claim, pushed by critics, is 51. The argument has resurfaced for years, and skeptics now joke that she has been 45 for far too long. One person who has insisted something was wrong with Meghan's story is Samantha Markle, Meghan's half-sister. Samantha has repeatedly accused Meghan of lying and has herself been dismissed as bitter, jealous, and driven by a family feud. The source pauses to say, remember that name, because Samantha returns later in a more consequential role. For a woman whose public brand emphasizes authenticity, critics argue that even suspicion around a personal timeline becomes corrosive. An Instagram post can be filtered. Old records are harder to erase. Then the controversy takes a royal turn. The source invokes Princess Diana, reminding viewers that many watched her wedding, followed her life, and felt her death personally. Within hours of Meghan's post, royal watchers circulated a photograph of Diana from the summer of 1997, the last summer of her life, jumping from a yacht into the sea. Side by side with Meghan's image, critics highlighted the arms, mid-air posture, black swimsuit, and angle. To them, coincidence began to look insufficient. Then came the tiny detail with enormous symbolic charge. Diana removed her sunglasses before jumping. Meghan kept hers on. Critics turned sunglasses off, sunglasses on into a metaphor Diana living a moment. Meghan manufacturing one. The source expands the accusation into a pattern involving fashion, poses, public body language, charity framing, and headbands on Meghan's Instagram, compared with the style associated with Caroline Bessette Kennedy. Days before the birthday post, the source also points to a wildflower video. It says, resembled content from popular American creator Nara Smith. The accusation is no longer one Diana-like pose. It is post after post, collection after collection, critics seeing borrowed aesthetics. Diana, in this telling, became beloved because she appeared unmistakably herself. The more Meghan reaches for that visual inheritance, critics say, the more the distance between original and imitation becomes visible. Then photographs give way to paper. The source identifies a physical issue of 17 magazine, March 1997, page 90, featuring young women from Los Angeles. It says Meghan Markle appears beside the age 21. If accurate in referring to her, that implies a birth year around 1976, not 1981. Under the official 1981 birth year, she would have been 15 in March 1997. Both numbers cannot describe the same person at the same time. The significance, in the source's telling, is permanence. A social media post can vanish, a website can be edited, and a digital biography can be rewritten without warning. But a printed magazine already sitting in archives cannot quietly change itself. That is why page 90 becomes so dangerous to the official story. Not because an old magazine is automatically infallible, but because critics see it as a frozen timestamp from 1997, created long before this controversy existed at all. And suddenly, the birthday photo looks less like the controversy than the clue that reopened the file. What makes this story refuse to disappear is not that one side has all the answers. It is that every attempt to close the conversation seems to create another opening. The birthday photograph was supposed to celebrate a milestone, yet critics immediately transformed it into evidence. The missing family members became questions. The unfamiliar pool became a question. The black and white styling became a question. The sunglasses became a question. Then, the discussion shifted away from the image entirely and landed on something much harder to edit, a timeline that critics insist contains too many contradictions to dismiss as coincidence. In the court of public opinion, unanswered questions rarely stay unanswered for long. They multiply. That is why Samantha Markle suddenly occupies a very different position in this story than she did before. For years, according to the source, she was portrayed as the estranged half-sister with an axe to grind, someone easy to ignore because of family conflict. But once old magazine pages, employment stories, interviews, emails, and recollections were pulled into the same conversation, critics stopped asking whether Samantha disliked Meghan and started asking whether any of her long-standing claims deserved another look. That shift alone changes the balance of power. Someone who was once dismissed is now being revisited, while someone who carefully built a public image finds that image being examined frame by frame. The same reversal surrounds Thomas Markle. His reported response, "Check the records yourself," became one of the most discussed moments in the source because it created uncertainty where certainty was expected. A father is supposed to settle a question like that instantly. Instead, critics interpreted the hesitation as another mystery. Whether that interpretation is fair or not, the damage comes from perception. Once people believe there is a missing piece, every silence begins to sound intentional, and every refusal to elaborate starts looking like concealment instead of privacy. Then there is Harry. While attention focused on Meghan's birthday, the source describes his legal battle as another pressure point closing in at exactly the wrong moment. Instead of headlines celebrating a birthday, critics found themselves discussing a lawsuit, a withdrawn witness, financial consequences, and questions about judgment. The timing mattered because it reinforced the appearance that every attempt to regain control of the narrative was immediately overtaken by another controversy. One problem did not replace another. They merged into a single storyline. That is where reputation becomes the real battlefield. Royal families survive criticism because their image projects stability. Celebrities survive criticism because they can reinvent themselves. But the source argues that Harry and Meghan now occupy an uncomfortable middle ground. Every new interview is compared with old interviews. Every photograph is placed beside older photographs. Every statement is measured against archived records. Critics are no longer reacting only to what happens today. They are reinvestigating yesterday, searching for patterns instead of isolated mistakes. The birthday picture itself illustrates that transformation. Before this controversy, it could have been interpreted as a simple artistic image. Afterward, critics no longer saw balloons, a swing, or a jump into a pool. They saw staging. They saw symbolism. They saw an apparent echo of Princess Diana. They saw a timeline debate reignited. one image became a trigger that pulled years of unresolved arguments back into public view. Whether intentional or accidental, the effect was the same. The conversation escaped the control of the people who started it. That may be the greatest challenge facing the Sussexes now. Controlling a headline is one thing. Controlling thousands of people independently comparing interviews, photographs, archived publications, television clips, legal documents, and family statements is something entirely different. Once that process begins, every old record acquires new significance. Something overlooked for years suddenly becomes today's evidence. Something dismissed as irrelevant suddenly becomes tomorrow's viral debate. The archive never stops growing, and neither does public curiosity. The source ultimately leaves every major question unresolved. It does not produce a final document settling Meghan's age. It does not show an official correction. It does not claim that any court has made the legal findings critics speculate about. Instead, it ends with uncertainty. And uncertainty has a way of keeping stories alive long after the original event has faded. The birthday itself is already over, but the arguments surrounding it continue to spread because no single explanation has satisfied everyone watching. And perhaps that is the biggest revelation of all. This story is no longer just about a birthday photograph, a magazine from March 1997, a family dispute, or even a disagreement over dates. It has become a battle over credibility itself. Every side believes it possesses the missing piece. Every unanswered question encourages another investigation. Every old record invites another comparison. Every silence is interpreted as meaningful by someone determined to solve the puzzle. So the real cliffhanger is no longer whether people will keep talking. They will. The real question is what surfaces next. Will another archive document emerge? Will another former acquaintance speak publicly? Will someone finally provide an explanation that closes every contradiction critics have identified? Or will the next revelation reopen the entire timeline once again? Because if this birthday photograph accomplished anything, it was not ending the debate. According to the source, it may have marked the moment the investigation truly began, and the next clue could already be waiting in a place nobody has thought to look.